I'm back from what is it? Not a nap, uh, a lay down, just a rest, because obviously I couldn't sleep. Uh, but as I went to upload, and then I was like, oh shit, I forgot to mention something. And yeah, so future me, digital me. Um, as I come to think about the I got itchy balls. As I come to think about the time we in, that's not good. I swear. I got I got fucking something that, you know, I need Dr. Crusher to look at. Because the American healthcare system sucks my donkey balls. Kind of literally. Uh, anyways. Oh, I got something on my glasses. So, yeah, the times we be in. Um, we got shout out to pissed off bartender. This is his phrase, at least I've heard it from him. He may have gotten it from somewhere else. He calls him the Fanta fascist. So we got the Fanta fascist. Um, and I've been thinking since, we need a way to deal with this kind of situation because the founders just never envisioned that um, if something like that arose, that Congress wouldn't just sit by and be like, yeah, this is cool. Not to mention, of course, the Supreme Court would just be like, oh, yeah, we're not judges. We're, you know, ideologues. And we're just going to be like, sure, we believe in this and not like ruling both based on the law, precedent, and the Constitution. Anyways, so I've been like thinking like, how to, well, you undo it by undoing it, first of all, by just repairing the wall, essentially. And then, you put in place stuff. So what do you put in place then? I just think like, well, okay, do you put in the legal framework like something like giving the military the authority to remove the president in a situation like we have now? Like I was thinking like, you know, the Army, Air, and Naval, like all of them decide together if all of them are on the same page. Like, yeah, this guy is lunatic. He's, like he's doing now. He's just like choosing not to obey the Supreme Court. He's doing all these fucked up things. I mean, he's obviously unhinged. I mean, there's reports of even soldiers being like, yeah, this guy's fucked up. So if the average soldier is saying that, I'm betting a lot of the generals have the same feelings that they're just, you know, Generals are people that have been in the military for their life. These are lifetime soldiers. So if they have these feelings, they probably confess them either only to other generals or maybe their wives. That's it. Because you gripe up the chain of command. You don't gripe down. Um, at least that's what I've been told. I've never been in the military, so that's what I've been told. But I think I have a better solution, and I've come up with two formats for this, and I don't think most people are going to like them, and I think the people in the sunny part of the country are really, really not going to like them. So let's just dig in, shall we? And it deals with a section of people that everybody in America, including myself, usually kind of forget about. And I think, the idea is a new arm-ish of legislative. Well, the first idea is, I think, a little simpler to implement. Maybe, I don't know. It's just Native Americans and all of the tribes, all the nations. I think they don't. I think they think tribe is a little insulting. I don't know. Some of them are probably like, whatever. I don't give a shit. Uh, all of them together as having, a certain amount of senators and representatives in the federal government. And then we could, as this goes forward, we could decide on the number. I was just, because that's the person putting it out there the first time, I just want to say some numbers just to kind of get a general feel out. So I'd say like six senators and 12 representatives. And I say that number just because that would be a not insignificant but not huge number of each one, so that on its own would be able to, as a kind of unified voting bloc, be able to make legislation all by itself. But on its own, unified, would be able to basically, regardless of election cycles, be able to tip legislation pretty much. I mean, you look back and forth through pretty much every election cycle. I don't even know how long, but long. And you would have to be like, well, I gotta work with them engines. And since there'd be 6 senators and 12 reps, all the nations would be able to get together and choose how they want to choose. So they probably would not vote as a united bloc on all issues. So whatever, but on some issues they would. There you go. I'm betting on issues like opening up fucking natural preserves for mining. They would all be like, yeah, we're not gonna fucking have that. Um, Especially mining and forestry on, I don't know, Native American lands, for instance. Like, yeah, that's not gonna fucking happen. Which means if the Republicans want it to pass, they're gonna have to get a lot of Democrats on their side. Um, Means you might have to fork over some universal health care, bitches. Um, which of course they're not going to do, but I'm just saying. And then, so there's that. Or the other thing I proposed, I think would be even more unfavorable, more unpalatable to people, would be an entirely separate legislative body made up of, um, the tribal nations, um, however you want to formulate it, that, when a piece of legislation goes through, it would do the kind of normal procedure, but then it would also have to go through this other body, and that, it would have to, the tribal nations body, or whatever you call it, they would have to go through it, debate it, and see how they feel about it, and pass it, and then it would be that. So it'd be a third body of representatives. Um, and then it would go to the executive branch. And like I said, that'd be another way to. That would also be another way to check the executive branch too, because you know um, there'd be another representative body that could be used to initiate recall proceedings and blah blah blah. Eh, something on my monitor there. Or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how you do it, but if the first method, my first proposal was done, then the forever gridlock would not be a thing. The second method, then I don't know. You would probably want to also put some other things in place to try and prevent this whole Trumpy thing from happening. But whatever. Yeah, maybe you can just put I think it's Canadians, I think it's the Canadian Parliament or whatever the hell it is, whatever term they use for it, that they have the ability to initiate a vote of no confidence. And I don't know if it's just the prime minister, chancellor, whatever the hell they call it, but I don't know if it's just that position that they can do, or if they can do a vote of no confidence for everybody, for any person in office. But I think that's a good thing to look over. If you can just call for a vote of no confidence and just be at any time and just be like, okay, we don't like this guy. We're going to, you know, it's not an impeachment vote or anything like that. We're just going to call and say, we want to have another election right now. So I don't know if there's a mechanism for that in place right now, because impeachment would lead to JD Vance, and we don't want that as Americans. We want another election right now, because we don't want JD Vance and we don't want the Speaker of the House. We want another election for president. I want another election for president because I want someone that fucking isn't a Republican right now. Honestly, I could do for another. I could do for another set of elections this November for kind of everyone right now, in not, you know, just fucking everywhere. That would really make me need to get my real ID, because Republican fuckery. But if we could do a vote, completely change the federal landscape election, and everybody needs to, you know, prove yourself election. The way they make me prove myself as I still deserve disability because my epilepsy hasn't miraculously cured itself, then that would be very nice. Yeah, because of the way, particularly the way this Republican Senate and House is operating is just wholly egregious. They are just totally just abrogating. Is that the right word? I don't know. Just setting aside any responsibility for what they're supposed to be doing. But checks and balances. How about checks? Yeah, we believe in checks. Let me go balance out my money from my check. That's how I'm going to balance that shit out. Because cha-ching, that's what I got to check. So, yeah. All right. That be my thought that I forgot to Word think. Boobs.